Hello, everybody. That's better.
It is better.
That's way
Much
better.
more better.
For those that follow the Daily Show, we. It turns out we had a power outage after we did our final show of the week on Thursday. Mm-hmm. We didn't put two and two together. Why the cameras were out, the Apple was off, which connects to the Apollo. So God knows.
Yeah.
We posted a show yesterday, but if it sounds a little odd, that's what happened. So we're smart. We finally figured out what's going on. And
putting the pieces back together.
I was talking to Trav last night, and I was like, audio's fucked, which he loves when I do that. Like, audio's fucked, which is a great diagnosis for an engineer.
Sure.
And so he's like, can you elaborate on audio is fucked? It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's fucked. Sound like shit. Sound like we had to pop our ears the whole show. So he had me come down, and sure enough, what's the Big Apple?
The Mac.
Yeah, the Mac went down and was not powered on, which everything runs through. So
you know what? And then again, it's funny how all these pieces start clicking now. Like, everything starts making sense.
Oh yeah.
But I had to come down here when AA Train had to add that new fucking 2.6 gigahertz thing for the Roomba.
Oh yeah.
I had to come down and restart this. And didn't think anything of it, but just...
Yeah.
I even knew power went out, but I was asleep when it happened and half woke up and then...
Yeah. Plus 4 days went by before we had to deal with it. You know, it was like... It must have been just a quick brownout or something. But no, that's exactly what it was. That was going to drive me nuts until you figured that out.
Here we are.
Yeah, we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. What a beautiful day.
Absolutely.
In Southeast Michigan, man.
Did I get a little sun today? Can you see? Do
I
get a little color?
A little rosy cheek.
I was outside today.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a perfect day to be outside. This is one of those, when you get in the fall and spring.
I was like, you know what? I got some shit outside. I'm going to go take care of it.
Yeah. Smart.
3 hours worth of work. I milked into about 6.
Nice. I love it. Love it. Yeah, but it's gorgeous out there, and it just you just get that sense, like right around the corner now.
Nope.
You think there's another snow coming?
Probably not another snow, but yeah, it goes back down to like 40 next week.
Fuck.
Yeah. Just a little teaser.
Tired of it.
This is abnormally high.
Yeah.
It's going to be 80 tomorrow.
Oh, I'll take it.
And Friday, I think.
I'll take it. Mm-hmm. No problem with that. Anyways, all right, what's going on in the world? How about we start with our friends at Zott Ford? When you support our sponsors, you support TDC, and we appreciate that more than you know. So if you're in the market for something new or pre-owned, or if you just want to sell your car, please give our friends at Zott a shot. They've been with us since the very beginning, and they love taking care of you. Get out there today and lease a new 22 Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend all-wheel drive as low as $298 a month, or buy the damn thing with 1.9% financing for just 72 months. Or stop by Zott and lease a new 22 Ford Explorer XLT four-wheel drive as low as $282 a month, or buy that, or you can buy it with 1.9% financing for 72 months. Finally, go lease a new 22 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT 4x4, $244 a month or lower. Yes, you could actually save another $20 to $50 a month if you qualify for a Ford private offer. Give Anthony or Steve Gabarra a call and to see if you're eligible. Plus, you can buy this bad boy with 2.9% financing for 72 months as well. Get details and search Zott Ford's banging inventory at dealsinthed.com. And we should mention radiofor1.com. That is the site. That's where follow everything we're doing. You can get merch there. Amazon link, Amazon Canada, MyPillow as well. Just use promo code TDC. That works at the My Store or MyPillow. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with the MyPillow 2.0. I'm really enjoying mine. I got a king size one and a queen size one. I love them. They're great. Also, a link to our Patreon page. Best, easiest way to support us. I know it costs a few bucks, but it's worth it. If you like the show, you want everything to continue, please sign up for our Patreon page. Get access to exclusive content and whatnot. And also, feel free to send your emails. Walters@DetroitCast.com. Very
nice. Good. Handling that business.
Wow.
I like it.
Working up a sweat over here.
I know. It's a little toasty in here. I thought about opening some windows.
Yeah, dude, it is. It is. Let's get rid of that heater, at least till next week.
It's not on.
I know. But it is warm down here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about that. The summer and stuff, it's gonna be warm down here. Bud Light's still in the news.
What'd they do now?
Well, nothing. They're still feeling the fallout. I think people want this to be a big story. I mean, there's just so much news and press on it
Yeah.
And so many people coming out, and I feel like so much
It's got
of
all the
anecdotal.
key elements to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the trans, so you're transphobe if you're anything against it.
Right.
You know, the Kid Rock shooting up
Travis
Bud Light
Tritt.
and Travis. You know, it's got all the elements of a fucking good old soap opera.
Of us as a divided nation, it really does check all the boxes.
Exactly.
You know, when you're talking about the woke stuff, the trans stuff, you know, it just, you know, males in general under attack for, you know, having too much testosterone, and that, you know, that was kind of shitty what the VP of marketing said, like, know your audience, to be like, we were too fratty and stuff like that. And you're just like, yeah, bitch, you know, I see what you're saying, but, you know, and out of touch jokes. It's like, oh, you mean dick jokes. So basically anything that males find entertaining with each other, you
I don't know
fucking
that Bud Light's,
around.
I mean, while, you know, people that drink Bud Light might be sophomoric, I don't think Bud Light's ever encompassed dick jokes or fart jokes into their marketing.
Well, there was the Super Bowl ad. Didn't they have a fart in a Super Bowl ad?
Did they?
I want to say they did. Maybe it was I swear it was like during the Bud. Didn't they have like Bud versus Bud Light? What was that? They would play a game, the bottles. Mm-hmm. It was around that time when Bud was sponsoring the shit out of the Super Bowl. And I want to say they had one that kind of crossed the line a little bit. Got people talking. I think there was a fart in it.
Bud Light horse fart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year does that go back to? Late 90s, early 2000s, probably?
Let's see. It does not.
Doesn't say.
I don't have a year on it. But from 10 years ago, there's a comment that says classic commercial featuring Bud Light.
Yeah.
So
they did good work with their marketing teams back then. It was like they understood.
The Clydesdales. I mean, they had some iconic commercials.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Frogs, Budweiser.
Yeah.
Spuds McKenzie. Fuck, dude. He
was that Bud?
Yeah, wasn't it? I think so.
Yeah, I think you're
Bud
right.
Light even, I think.
Yeah.
Spuds McKenzie. He was.
He was like a spring break icon for a good decade there, probably.
But they don't have anything iconic anymore.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to the Clydesdales. Because I feel like they were in a Super Bowl commercial not too long ago.
But yeah, I think so.
You know, this article I was reading, for nearly as long as it's existed, Budweiser has been America's beer. And that's true.
King of beers.
Yeah, the king of beers. Its ad campaign has always revolved around that. Baseball, NASCAR, the weekend cookout, bros just broing out. This like, I don't know, there seems like a shot, not to be a pussy about it, but this bros broing out type shit. Oh, you mean guys talking sports and
Guys
hanging out,
drinking beer and shit?
Yeah, like it's kind of a shot. Like, yeah, it's always been about bros broing out. It's like, well, okay.
We're supposed to crack a nice cold Bud Light and discuss politics?
Yeah.
Is that what we're supposed to do?
Right? You know,
How to end world hunger?
yeah, favorite nail polish colors. I mean, like, no, a lot of guys have barbecues on the weekends with their buddies, with their families, kids, everything. Mm-hmm. The dads are manning the barbecue and drinking. But what's more American than that?
No, nothing, man. That's it. That's,
You know,
with a nice cold Bud bottle.
Yeah. But it seems like they're taking a shot at that.
They are.
Like that's a negative now. That. It's like, well, okay, well, that's your whole fucking
And that's
group.
It's not like you've been hijacked. You've catered to that. You've
Yes,
you've nurtured
exactly.
that. You've embraced that this whole time.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you want to do the old 180.
And I wonder if it's like, okay, we can't compete. There's so many beers on the market now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
They own most
just
of them,
so many. I know they own most of them, but still, if you're trying to get Bud Light, you know, maybe that's the best move they have. And in reality, why this doesn't matter to them is they're going after like the perfect ESG score. There's not a lot of people that fully understand this. It's hard to understand. It's part of the whole global takeover, and you know you're gonna get there with money, with one global world, and like take America for what it is and shit can that.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking for that politically correct woke as shit ESG score for the whole planet, that's what's important to them.
Did
is
we
what
just
it
take a
seems
step
like.
towards digital currency?
Probably.
Yeah, there's they'll propose a bill or something like to start going that way.
Yeah.
Within like 5 years, be cashless.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm telling you, man, the problem with that is the ability to shut that off for something you perceive as a slight. So it could be us, it's one thing to get a check on our YouTube. Like, "Ah, you said something naughty. You said something anti-vaccine." Well, how about in the future, in 5 years, when we say something about that? Like, no, I don't feel like listening. I'm going to hang back with the Tuskegee Airmen and not get some fucking government mandated or funded vaccine. I'm going to take my chances. It's like, well, what, you think so? Shut your money off.
Or even just, fine you.
Yeah.
Just arbitrarily without no
Yeah.
hearing, no fucking trial. Just
Yep.
they can just jack your funds.
And here's the other thing. Budweiser first brewed in 1876.
Ooh, that's
God, even early on, people wanted to get fucked up, didn't they? You know what I mean? You go back and you read stories about, in the 1400s and people finding mushrooms.
Yeah.
And like going to a whole new level. Like they lived on shrooms, tripping balls around the clock. And
Some will kill you,
animals
though.
do it.
That's a tricky, slippery slope.
Worth
Trying
it,
to
though.
find the good ones.
No offense to our Asian listeners, obviously. 1876 is now owned by the Belgian company AB InBev. I've seen that InBev
Okay.
as a company.
AB, that's Anheuser-Busch.
Anheuser-Busch.
That's their new Eurotrash version, right? That they sold out to.
Yeah, InBev, Belgian-owned company. And Bud Light VP of Marketing Alyssa Heinerscheid has declared the brand's past marketing efforts as out of touch and fratty. I think she's missing the mark here. I really do. She looks like a super woke, like, hey, I've arrived. Look at me. I'm going to put my stamp on this. And it's like, I think you're really missing the mark with that.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't care.
Well, they did put a chick in charge of marketing for a beer.
Yeah.
It's probably not the best start.
Yeah. Especially such a fratty beer.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if it was a
that's
super...
what you want. If you want to try and rebrand right now, go for it. You're already halfway there at this point.
Yeah.
So you may as well just fucking lean into it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that's what you were really going for initially.
You might think, who cares? But it turns out there was an incredible blowback from the craven move to cash in on the ever-growing "Look at me, I'm tolerant" campaign. Consumers across the U.S. revolted against Bud Light. According to bar owners and beer industry experts around the country, I think society flexes its muscles sometimes and reminds manufacturers that the consumer is still in charge. Jeff Fitter, owner of Case and Bucks, a restaurant and sports bar in Barnhart, Missouri, said in Bud Light's efforts to be inclusive, they excluded almost everybody else, including their traditional audience. Therein lies the irony. Beer has long been a more macho drink. Women can, of course, drink it, but beer has been associated with men standing around, talking sports, punching each other. Now, before you move to cancel me, the author says, that's just how it's been. I didn't make it happen. Women have a nice glass of Pinot Grigio. Men hork down a Bud, which happens to be the nation's top-selling beer brand. But boy, did men bail on Bud Light. Fitter said sales of Anheuser-Busch bottled products dropped 30% over the past week. Draft beer plunged 50%.
Yeah.
Brewhouse owner Alex Caceres said that 80% of Bud Light drinkers ordered something else this week.
Yeah, I believe it.
While the 20% who did order the beer weren't on social media and hadn't heard yet. That's a bold statement to just claim that all 20% of them. You're taking some casual liberties there. Because you
the
have
20%
no
that
idea.
did seem to deep throat the bottle as they drank it.
Yeah, right. Or that 20% absolutely loves the woke shit and maybe has a close family friend that's trans and feels like they're,
Or maybe just doesn't give a shit.
or maybe doesn't give a shit.
Because there is that part of the fucking
Big E-
world out there. That
Big
just
E had
doesn't
a-
give a shit.
Big E, when he was here, was it yesterday?
He was.
Yeah. When we were doing this story, he has this, he wants to be inclusive and woke to some extent. He had a frustrated look on his face all the time we were doing that story, like, why does anyone care? And it's like, I was trying to explain to him that at some point you got to care about something. When shit is being pushed, shit that you understand is like how society works, and men are going to have their faults, women are going to have their faults.
Yep.
Traditional values matter. And when you see those things just being chucked off a ledge by iconic companies that represent America and men, we're under attack. We kind of laugh it off, but we understand, especially as white cisgendered men. We're not, the most sought out group right now.
No, and I mean the reality is that is the number one selling beer in the country, in the world,
Sure.
whatever. And why? Because of the frat boys, because of the people that drink it.
It's a cheap
And then for you to
beer.
alienate your base for
Yeah.
lack of a better term, to try and it's par for the course of what this inclusivity bullshit is all about.
Yeah.
You ignore the fucking masses to include the few.
Right.
And
I don't know anyone, even people that would be tolerant. Like, I don't assume there's many people listening to us right now that would see a trans person, for instance, walking down the street and would be like, I'm kicking the shit out of that. You think you're a fucking lady? And, I don't know. I would hope not. And I would hope if they did, they'd go to jail.
Go ahead and don't listen anymore. We don't need you.
I don't think there's many people out there like that. There's some. Obviously, there's some.
I'm sure, yes.
But I don't think those same people that would just walk by them, maybe chuckle to themselves or go, oh, yeah. Just see that lady walking by, like, that's to be expected. You're going to get some of that. It is still a little fucking odd. Yeah. And it's not something you see every day. It's kind of like seeing a midget out in the wild. It's like, take a look, 6 o'clock or 3 o'clock. You're like, hey, haven't seen one of those in a while. Doesn't mean you want to beat them up or hate on them or discriminate against them, but you noticed.
Sure.
And it's the same thing. So I don't think...
It's out of the norm.
Exactly. I don't think traditional Bud Light drinkers are going to be thrilled with this partnership. No. That's just a thought.
You know what? They could have very easily done this with like their seltzer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or Bud Light Lime or
like
something.
Dip the toe in?
Something like that. But no, they went fucking hard in the paint.
Yeah.
They went full on into Bud Light.
Yeah.
And
it's a great point.
They're going to get their pee-pee slapped on that. They are. And they already are.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you got some of that information. That's what I was hoping he could have come up with something yesterday.
Yeah.
To what those numbers actually were. Because there's got to be a hit, like I said. And the hit is going to outweigh the gains. Because even people that want to go out now and support Bud Light, trust me, that's not a lifelong support.
No.
That's right now, that's a rally cry. That's a 6-pack that's probably going to last you a month.
Right.
Exactly. Just to say you got Bud Light, or just to have some in the fridge, just to show it's like having a fucking rainbow flag.
Yeah.
Having a 6 or a Bud Light in the fridge.
Right.
Just to know you're an ally.
That is very true. Very true.
Yeah. But the real drinkers are gone and not coming back.
In Texas, Bud Light has long sponsored a weekly dart league that draws more than 100 players every Thursday. The bar usually blows through 3 kegs of Bud Light at the event, nearly 500 12-ounce glasses.
Yeah.
This week, the bar sold 4 bottles of Bud Light.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
that
queer get the shit kicked out of him?
Hell yeah.
Get that
no
queer out this bar.
I ain't getting no queer beer.
Trans lover?
That's kind of what I would expect. And rumors going to go around, like the 4 guys that ordered a Bud Light and started to drink on it. Someone probably went,
dude, what the fuck?
What the fuck? What are you drinking trans beer for?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they're like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, you didn't see? Mm-hmm. That's when phones get pulled up, like, boo, 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 boo.
Yep.
Here's what you're drinking.
Right.
Fag.
Or you get filmed drinking the Bud Light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put on blast.
Turn into more of a joke than it needed to be.
Yeah, exactly. And right. And it'll spread from there because even the people that don't really give a shit, once it becomes a thing
and not cool at all,
and becomes you're ostracized for it, then
I'm trying to think what other products became. Zima is a good example, or certain bands where all of a sudden like Winger never got over Stewart. Winger never got over Stewart wearing a fucking Winger t-shirt. He was the dorky kid on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
They're wearing AC/DC Metallica, and the nerdy, dorky kid is wearing a Winger t-shirt. Yeah. It's like, what? Immediately, everyone was like, fuck Winger. You know what I mean? Like, Winger didn't do anything wrong.
Oh,
and Nickelback, well, I know, they were Winger.
So but didn't do anything right either, but yeah.
Nickelback has kind of felt the same thing. Nickelback has done nothing but put out hits, right? Great hooks. But it's like, that's one of those ones you listen to cranked up in your car with the windows rolled up.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Well, you don't. Yeah. But a lot of people would be like, I don't want to stop at a stoplight and have my windows down jamming fucking Nickelback.
Change the channel when you pull up next to a car full of chicks.
Exactly. It's just one of those things like, okay, I'm going to privately enjoy this by myself.
Right.
But there's a whole thing where it's like you can take something and brand it really fucking uncool really quick.
Yep.
And fear
it doesn't come back. And
no.
Once it goes that way, it's dead.
Or it'll be decades.
Yeah.
Winger wasn't like now. I bet Winger's on tour now. Kip Winger was, if you
Sure,
don't
but they
know,
always would have. I mean, it's
At some
never still a
point.
joke. Nickelback's always toured. It's still a joke. You know what I mean of what it is. But they still have fans.
Sure.
they still are richer
and they
than
can
all
still
of us.
do stadium
Kip
shit.
Winger's richer than we are. You know what I mean? Like,
Probably.
yeah.
And a lot of those guys went on to do scores for movies, TV shows, kids shows. A lot of those guys that were in those like hair metal bands that, like guys from Cinderella or Winger have had really successful runs, because they're professional musicians.
Exactly.
So
That was just the time and the place, and
Yeah.
a lot of them got caught up in it.
There was more than just anecdotal evidence. Anheuser-Busch distributors placed fewer orders of Bud Light after it launched its gender propaganda. We reached out to a handful of AB distributors who were spooked, most particularly in the Heartland and the South. It appears likely Bud Light took a volume hit in some markets over the holiday weekend. Whether it lasts remains to be seen. According to this author, it'll last.
It will.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I do.
You
Because,
think so?
Yeah, because the people that, I mean, it's not like Bud Light is so good
Yeah.
that you just can't find anything to replace it. You know what I mean? It would be one
True.
thing. I mean, if we were talking about, like, I don't know, Oreos, right? Let's just say.
Yeah.
Okay, people might jump ship and go to the Hydrox
No,
for a minute.
Hydrox is garbage.
Just out of principle.
Yeah.
But it's not sustainable.
No.
Right?
True.
Because
true.
eventually people are like, fuck this. It's
Hydrox
not worth
sucks.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Bud Light is not that.
Yeah, you can swap that with a Coors Light, a Labatt
Anything.
Light,
Those are
a
interchangeable.
BLD. They are.
So, and if you're that far gone, and once because so much of that is just habitual
Sure.
of what you buy, and once that habit changes, you don't go back to it.
Yeah.
Whether it's I'll never drink a Bud Light ever again out of my principle, or this is a phase and I'm going to switch to something else. Well, once you switch, some people might, I miss my Bud Light, I guess, whatever.
Yeah,
but I don't think so. I mean, it's not going to be the same level it is now.
Yeah.
But I promise it'll never get back to what it was.
Isn't it strictly like, I said it the other day, but I think of Bud Light as just the beer, like if you're going out on the lake all day,
Yeah.
you can just drink that all day.
But there's insert name here.
Right.
There's
of those style of beers.
Yep.
You can't do that with Oberon.
No.
Or you know what I mean? Like you're not, and I know there are people that,
I can, but yeah.
but they look forward to Bell's, like seasonal ones, and they go out of their way to get those. Bud Light, it's just like, well, that's just what they've been drinking for 10, 20 years.
It's cheap. It's what you get.
Yeah.
You can drink fucking when you got to put down 18 of them in a night.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
playing
you can do.
cards, drinking. It's still fun. I haven't done it in years, but I imagine, more so than sitting down with a double shot of whiskey, like having beers
Yeah.
and playing euchre or poker. It's
Yeah,
great.
I've had to stop. I mean, I used to just in the last few years I've switched off of beer into liquor.
Yeah.
But
For calorie intake.
well, not really.
That was mine.
I mean, part of it, but I don't know. I just always get so bloated drinking beer and
Yeah.
stuff too,
Yeah.
burpy and shit.
Yeah.
But so I would even if I'd go play poker, I would just go and take, a 6 or 12 pack or something, so I had, and just drink those all night as opposed to making drinks,
Yeah.
It's just easier. I realize now, especially, I don't know if that's just because I've stopped and every time I dip my toe back in now, but when I drink beer, I piss like a fucking...
Every 5 minutes.
Like every beer.
Yeah.
Like every fucking
crazy,
beer. It's
isn't
the
it?
worst. Like I can't even do it anymore because every time I drink a beer, I got to
Yeah.
go piss it out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you drink, and it didn't used to be that way for me.
Yep.
I was like a camel. I could fucking not piss all night.
Yeah.
But now I go back and I start drinking beer, boom, it just nails me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
whether or not you get over that hump once you get back into it, I don't know. But for me right now,
Probably not.
like I can't just drink beers. It's depending on
Not
where
at
I'm
a clip.
at. Well, depending on where I'm at and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's just not feasible because I got to piss too fucking much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Anheuser-Busch distributors in the U.S. are split between blue-silver distributors that stock Miller Coors products and red distributors which deal in InBev products, the parent to Budweiser and Bud Light. Blue-silver distributors were said to be reaching record-high sales.
Well, yeah, you got to go somewhere. They didn't just stop drinking.
No, hell no.
They just stopped buying Anheuser-Busch products.
Exactly. While the publication received anecdotes of a sea of blue and red, Budweiser and Bud Light, remaining untouched in cold boxes, it clarified that it was not clear to what extent this was a result of Easter or backlash. Trying to appeal to the sensitivities of a new generation of drinkers without alienating your old core constituency is like herding cats and dogs and chickens, particularly with a large and iconic brand such as Bud Light. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. My guess is people are short-memoried. It'll be interesting to see. This is a good one to.
This is because, like I said, people will forget why they stopped drinking Bud Light, but if they get into a new routine, it won't matter.
Yeah,
they'll switch to something else. They'll find something they like. Then that becomes the new. I mean, they don't drink Bud Light because it's good. Right. Nobody drinks Bud Light because it's so fucking good.
Right.
It's habit. It's whatever ties you to that. You know.
Well, I don't feel like Nike has tried to go the woke route for a long time. And I'm a Nike guy. I love Nike.
Yeah.
I have a ton of Nike shoes.
Nobody makes fucking shoes like a fucking 8-year-old Asian kid.
Right. But Nike has partnered with Dylan Mulvaney too for like workout gear. I don't know that they've
Sports
done
bras.
Sports bras. Exactly. Shit like that. But I didn't
Or,
have...
for a guy, a tank top.
I look at it like, okay, Nike's been playing this super woke fucking game for a while now. And I don't know what it would take for me to go, I'm out with Nike. I'm not buying Nike anymore. I'm an Adidas guy or a Puma guy or whatever. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like right now, like if I was going to the store, it would be top of mind. If I had to go, if we were having a party and it's like, we're going to pick up a handful of cases of beer or a keg, I definitely wouldn't go with Bud Light.
No. But I mean, even if you're, like I said, there's the ripple effect on this is strong because even if you're not so into it, right? Like it doesn't personally affect you that much. You know about it, you're aware of it, but it's not, you're not consciously not going to drink Bud Light because of it. But say that you're having a party. Now you're going to go up there. Are you going to go grab 3 cases of Bud Light and go take it up to the counter and look like a fucking quarter? You know what I mean? Or is it like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking pivot on this one and not have to have this conversation, and I'll just buy something else.
Yeah.
I mean, just saying.
I honestly would buy something else. I just would. Even
if it's not your own, personal boycott. That's my point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not buying it out of that standard, but it's also I'm not buying it because I don't want to have this conversation at my party. I don't want to have this conversation with the guy at the counter. I don't want to have to get the looks from all the people standing in line behind me.
And I think people are always looking for a small gesture that they can do to say they approve or disapprove of something.
Yeah.
Whether that is people listening to this show and going, I'm going out of my way by a lot to go to Zotford because they sponsor this show that I like. The same thing can be true with your everyday red-blooded American who goes, you know what? I know it probably doesn't mean anything to their stupid bottom line, but fuck you. I'm going Coors Light this time. Mm-hmm. I've always walked into this same party store for 20 years, bought my case of Bud Light, and you know what? I'm not doing it today.
Yeah.
And that's their little personal boycott. And if enough people do it, it does matter.
Sure.
Maybe it doesn't matter to InBev. Maybe they've bought up every craft beer in the world anyways.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. But, if
Bud
Bud Light becomes...
It's important, too, that people, in a situation like this, that people understand InBev.
Yeah.
Or Anheuser-Busch, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like...
It's hard.
Okay, right. I'm not going to buy Bud Light. I'll buy, Corona.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same fucking thing. I'll buy Modelo. It's the same thing. You know what I mean?
It's all going to the same bank.
It's all going to the same bank, right. So if you have to not only do it, you have to be educated on some level to be able to do it.
It's very hard. I listened to Glenn Beck a couple of years ago, and there was some big, it was Coca-Cola. Remember they had some inter-office meeting?
Yeah, to whiten it up.
Whiten up,
Francis.
Yeah, they wanted unwhiten things. I can't remember what's going on over
Somebody's in my shit, man.
So they had this big thing, and it caused a stir. And Glenn Beck was talking about it. I was just on one of my walks, and I was listening to him, and he was running down, like, he was talking about just how fucking hard it is. Like, every fast food place you go to has some level of Coca-Cola products, whether you realize it or not. It's not just Coke and Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Like, it's way more than that. And it's to the tune of hundreds of products.
Yes.
So to your point, you really need to educate yourself if you want to go that route.
Exactly. Because it's, right. You could
unbeknownst
think you're
to you.
doing it and still supporting it.
Exactly.
Heinz ketchup. I mean, maybe not, but something like that can still be under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into things like craft foods or Coca-Cola, something that's so massive.
Yeah.
That they're it's so encompassing.
Yeah.
So you have no idea the things that they actually have. That you just want, oh, fuck Coke. Okay,
Yeah.
well, fuck everything else too.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make it easy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it easy. But, I hate stuff like this too. And I don't know, you're probably best unless you're, doing a pop culture-ish type show where you're talking about these topics. A lot of people want their voices heard. So the Chicago Police Department's official Twitter account liked a tweet from Travis Tritt, who slammed Bud Light because of their partnership with Dylan Mulvaney. Now there's a spokesman for the Chicago PD confirmed to the Chicago Sun-Times that an investigation was underway by the department's Bureau of Internal Affairs after a complaint was filed. The complaint was made after a photo surfaced showing the department had liked Tritt's tweet in which he said he was boycotting Anheuser-Busch products. Interim superintendent of the Chicago PD, Eric Carter, tweeted they take the liking of Tritt's tweet seriously.
Oh, yeah.
The Chicago PD does not tolerate bigotry. This week, there was an unauthorized like of a tweet that does not represent the values of our department.
Unauthorized likes.
Yeah, Jesus.
That's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
You know what? I understand what they're saying because if you're the PD, you're the PD for for all of Chicago.
Exactly.
Which means
and one person's opinion does not necessarily reflect the
Right.
opinions and beliefs of however that statement goes. The standard.
The reality is you're going to
views and
fall
opinions
into the
expressed.
Yeah. You are in charge of policing all the community, which includes, 30% of your constituency that loves this, that thinks this is the greatest thing of all, loves Dylan Mulvaney. And so now those 30%, so you're better off. But if Bud Light wants to get into this discussion, they started this.
Yeah.
Bud Light drinkers didn't start this. Chicago PD's Twitter account didn't start this.
Right.
But everybody's got sort of an opinion. Some people are like, "Who cares?"
Yeah,
and some people are like, "No, I care a lot. I don't want I don't want to watch and contribute to the decline of Western civilization any more than is already taking place." And for that, I like Travis Tritt's tweet. I agree with Kid Rock. There's a lot of people that are going to feel that way.
Yeah.
So we really need an official investigation. Why don't you just go down and go, Bill, did you
Which one of you assholes clicked it?
Yeah, it was me. I was running the Twitter account.
Was it me? Was it me?
Yeah. Well, Bill was in charge of the Twitter accounts. Bill, what the fuck, dude? You know better than that.
I accidentally, it's like the on the messenger, they got that thumbs up down there. It's accidentally I swear to God, I send random thumbs up like all the time. It's just there, you bump it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just an accidental like.
And a yellow one at that, or a blue one.
Blue one, big blue one, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever know that the longer you hold it, the bigger it gets?
Oh, really? Is that on just yours, or is that would that be on iPhones too?
I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing.
Like
when you go to like something, when you hit that thumb, if you hold it down, it goes and will blow up, and you can make a huge thumb.
No shit.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
It is pretty good. It's when you really want to emphasize that thumbs up, you can hold it down and fucking blow her up.
Well, let me see.
Let's see. Get in there.
Let me see.
Well, this part of the show is brought to you by The Party Pub. If you want to impress everyone at your graduation.
Yeah, you can. Hell yeah, you can blow that sumbitch up.
Yeah, wedding reception, poker night, MMA viewing party, or for any other reason, they need to contact The Party Pub. It's a massive inflatable pub that can be set up wherever you choose. They also have all the best party games, beanbag toss, badminton, axe throwing, giant inflatable screens, and much more. Call Jeff El Jefe at 586-524-6701 or visit thepartypubrentals.com and take your event to the next level.
How do you feel about our Detroit Lions today?
Oh, listen, I could not love this team anymore.
I know. It's fun, man. It's going to be fun.
Again, I'm not, over the top vested like a lot of you guys get into this thing, but I am.
We're pretty vested.
But I don't live and die on wins and losses.
Right.
I get it. I understand there's more to it, but I am supremely optimistic of, do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? No, I hope they do because I put $5 on them and it wins me like $150.
That's it? I would think it would pay even more than that.
They were top 10 in odds.
Yeah.
Of winning the Super Bowl preseason.
Still.
I understand.
Still, even if you're number one in odds, it seems like you could get $5 paying $150.
No, God.
No?
No, I mean, I think.
I mean, it's hard to win a Super Bowl.
Well, it is, but I mean, you can really narrow it down to four or five teams, basically. Bills, Chiefs.
Yeah.
Eagles.
Niners.
But Niners. Oh yeah. Well, what I'm saying. I mean, I'm talking about teams that actually made it somewhere.
Yeah.
Last year.
Some bitch.
But no. I mean, I think they were, I don't know, plus 2,000, something like that, or plus 1,800, somewhere in there. So 100 wins you $280. So
100 wins you a couple grand.
well, 100 wins you $2,000 if it's plus 2,000.
You thought about putting a hundy on there? Just go, fuck it, I'm going to try and clean $2,000 here. Because I mean, at some point they're going to break through.
They will. I mean, but win the Super Bowl is a completely different story.
Yeah.
I do. I have them to win the division. But those odds were not great. They were like plus 250.
Yeah.
Because they're the favorite to win the division. I mean, they're the odds-on favorite to win the division in Vegas.
I've been, I think I told you, I don't know if I talked about it on the show, but when I first had surgery, I was, spending my time, I had to walk 10 minutes at a clip 3 times a day, so, to get up and walk. But a lot of time is spent either in bed. I was sleeping 15 hours a day.
Yeah, sure.
And also watching a lot of stuff on YouTube. And I would go in the day and the Bay Area guys that I follow, because I'm always interested in what my Niners are doing, and there's lots of talk of them. But I'm telling you, man, those guys know their shit. Those NFL guys that are like beat writers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't just know about the Niners. And to a man, they know the moves the Lions have made. And I'm watching shitloads of their content, right, in 8-minute increments. And they're like, well, with the moves the Lions are making with Sutton and this and that, they're going to be legit. They got Mosley. Like, these guys are like, all the time when they're talking about, they're like, Eagles, Niners, Lions, rest of the goddamn NFC.
Yeah.
They really think
they're on board.
this team is special.
I mean,
It's going to be a fun year,
They
man.
showed it the second half of last year.
Yep.
And if you really, people, the people that know and the people that care, you actually look at that first half of the season when they shit the bed.
Yeah.
They didn't really shit the bed. They were a lot better than that record showed.
Yeah.
They made some mistakes. They had some tough breaks, some things like that along the way.
Wasn't that when, what's his name, hit like a record 64-yard field goal? For Justin Tucker for the Ravens. Was that the year before?
No, I think that was 2 years ago at least. I don't think that wasn't last year.
No. But the year before. Oh, okay. You're talking first half of the season. Gotcha.
First half of the season last year.
Was that the year before?
When they were
then?
2-6 or whatever, and then had
or 1-7.
1-7 or whatever they were.
Yeah.
I'm not a pundit.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But so it's easy to look at that and just dismiss it as same old Lions.
Sure.
But if you actually check tape and you look at what was going on and you realize the situation on how and why they lost some of those games, you figure opening week they lost by 3 to the
Eagles.
Eventual NFC
Yeah,
champs.
38-35. But they had a big comeback in that when the Eagles really had that game in command.
Yeah,
but still, 3-point win to a team that fucking owned the league, really.
Yeah,
they really did.
A team that's historically found new ways to lose.
Yeah.
Started finding new ways to win.
Yeah.
And that was when you started to see it change a little bit.
Well, if you didn't hear the news and you care, Jeff Okudah's been moved. He was traded today to the Atlanta Falcons for a 5th-round pick.
I mean,
I disagree with this move. I'm not one to question them right now because they've made so many smart moves.
Well, here's the thing: is that what I don't know. I'm disappointed that you took, what was he, a number 3?
Number 3 overall pick.
Number 3 overall pick. That's
in
now only
2020.
It's now only a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
But with the moves that they've made, I don't know if Okudah was the odd man out. I mean,
Yeah,
I know I'd
clearly.
like to have depth back there, but I would have liked to have seen more like a 3rd rounder from him. But maybe he's not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Niners, there's a lot of talk about moving Trey Lance.
And
they're talking.
This would be his 3rd year, so he'd be coming out of his rookie deal at the end of this
He's
season.
got 2 years left on his
2
rookie
years
deal.
left on it? Okay,
Yep.
sorry.
In the article here, it says it's no surprise that Okudah is being traded away. As the writing on the wall became more legible over the course of the offseason, Lions put emphasis on secondary. Of course, they were worst in the league.
Yep.
Signing cornerback Cam Sutton to a 3-year deal, former 49ers cornerback Emmanuel Mosley. I will tell you, Niners pundits did not want to lose Emmanuel Mosley.
Yep.
They thought they were going to be able to get him.
He can stay healthy. He's a player.
Yeah, and he had an injury last year, but he's a solid corner.
Yep.
So if he stays healthy, Cam Sutton speaks for himself. And then to go get Gardner, from Philadelphia, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I mean, that's legit. However, what you're talking about is true too. You have to have depth,
Right.
especially in the secondary. It's so hard to find good corners. Having this guy on a 2 years left on a rookie deal, he started to look like a legit NFL corner last year.
The problem is, yes, it's his rookie deal. The problem is it's a number 3 overall rookie deal.
Yeah.
So there's
money there.
There's money involved in that, and I have yet to come across the point in time where I question what this leadership is doing, what this new regime is doing, because what most people don't really understand is the business side of it, the salary cap. The behind the scenes shit that goes on. People think just go get Tom Brady. No, it doesn't fucking work that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the business side of it,
but keeping guys you want is very doable.
Well, it is. It is. But that's just it, though. Is depending on what they're going to do, and maybe that speaks to what they're going to do in this draft, because they're going to put one of those first 16 picks. Or 18 picks. What
they got two in the 6 and 18.
6 and 18.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those two is going to be, because there are 2 or 3 legit corners. I don't like taking them that early, but Witherspoon is solid, very solid. I've watched him 2 or 3 of his games this year, and he jumped off fucking the TV to me.
Yeah.
Watching him play.
Where's he from?
That's
is he Illinois guy? Yeah.
Yeah. Illinois.
I it's one of my just hard, fast rules. Don't draft corners because
and maybe they don't think they need to.
They might not, but they need depth.
I know, but they also
they need
signed
another
3 guys.
safety.
Yeah. But for what you get out of Akuda for that money, do you have somebody that's already on this squad that's making peanut butter sandwiches that can play?
Yeah,
about as
your
good as
7th round pick that played.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
who
he's
played
better
well.
Than Akuda. Exactly.
I can't think of his name right now, but. No, I just think that drafting corner. Here's why I feel this way. I think cornerback is the toughest position in all of sports. Now, people can argue that and say, no, it's quarterback. No, it's NHL goalie. Or, some people would even say defensive linemen are the hardest to fill. I think cornerback, the difference in NFL speed versus college speed across the board is so glaring and obvious that even when these guys are amazing ball players, it takes them years to really get up to speed. Occasionally you get a Sauce Gardner with the Jets who looks solid.
Right.
There's Deion Sanders every year, once in a blue moon.
There's a handful. So, I mean, they don't always flame out.
But Akuda played 15 games last year. He played well, much better. He had one pick six for a touchdown.
I was expecting him to
have a breakout year.
Take a step forward this year. I was.
And then you'd be in the position next year of doing what they did with Slay. Yeah. Okay, now it's time to pay this guy $20 million a year. Move him.
Yeah, well, I don't know that he's going to be anywhere near Slay.
Right.
And Slay was...
Slay was mediocre for the first couple of years of his
but
career.
not when it came to that point in time. Right. You're either going to give him max money.
Yeah.
And realistically, the deals they gave these guys aren't even super max deals.
Yeah.
Even Gardner Johnson. I mean, it's a legit money deal, but it's not like they went and paid, lockdown fucking corner.
I think they paid him pretty good money.
Good money, yeah. No, I'm not saying that it wasn't, but not like.
And Emmanuel Mosley, I think, is like $6 million a year, $9 million a year.
No, he definitely ain't $9 million a year. There's no way he's anywhere near $9 million.
See what they gave him. I know the Niners were thinking if no one swipes this guy, we could probably do a 1-year league minimum or whatever for $1 million and get him. And the Lions were like, as if. And I thought they paid him $6 or $9 million, or maybe that's his
$6 million. Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way it's $9 million. Yeah,
yeah.
It's only a 1-year deal, so that's why.
Yeah, he's coming off injury.
I understand, but my point was that these signings aren't necessarily long-term fixes, so they're still going to have to go to the well. They're still going to have to get guys.
Yeah.
Now, whether they think they can get guys later in the draft, which they've shown in recent history, the ability to find quality players late in the draft.
Yeah.
So that's why even this 5th round
so
pick,
huge, man.
It is. That's the difference. that's the difference in this league of winning and losing. Is being able to find those guys.
It's the. You want to know the Niners' key to success?
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
right? They sign their A-list talent. They're not afraid to let their B-list, maybe to be one day A-list talent walk. They're not afraid to let them walk.
Or once they get to the point of,
And-
still good, but petering off when they're cresting.
Or guys that have come into their own and are now a staple, but they're not Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
They're a lower level. They'll let those guys walk. Go get paid somewhere else. That's what they do. But they're absolutely known with this regime for getting George Kittle in the 5th round, for getting Brock Purdy in the 7th round, for getting Deebo Samuel in the 5th round.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's
where
losers.
they're hitting. And it's like, we don't need all this draft capital. They're not afraid to let those players walk. They get compensatory picks for those. They get compensatory picks for having minorities get job promotions around the league.
Yep.
And so they're filling holes like that. The Lions are sort of doing that, where it's like we're seeing guys, the days of Jared Davis coming in as a 1st-round pick bust.
Yeah.
Don't seem to be happening with this squad right now.
I mean, you never
is
know.
great.
Yeah, in fact, Kuiper's latest draft had fucking Will Anderson dropping to the Lions.
Can you
at
imagine?
6.
Can you imagine?
I would run around the streets naked, stroking my dick.
You do that anyways.
I understand it, but I would do it twice on a Sunday if Will Anderson somehow fell to the Lions at 6.
There's talk of them moving up.
I would
to
not,
get
and
him.
that's that. I wouldn't, and that's part of when I was talking about this draft capital. Okay, this getting rid of him for a 5th-round pick. 5th-round pick, you think, that's not that much, but if you can capitalize on these picks, they all have value.
Yeah.
Right?
If you can capitalize on them.
And numbers wise, right? Because if you were to take, let's just say you're 6 and 4th or 3rd or something to move up to 3 to get this guy. Because stud.
Yeah.
Right? If I didn't, if the
you
jury wasn't out.
bookend that with Hutchinson?
Yeah, I wouldn't. The jury's out on Jalen Carter. Coming into this draft, he was the best player in the fucking league. I mean, he would have been the consensus number 1 overall.
Yeah.
But some off-field issues, some questionable, decisions make people start thinking. You start sliding down draft boards. Now, I trust this team and this staff to fully vet this kid. And you can't fool these guys as a player, right?
Well,
I think some GMs you can probably bullshit on
it'd
some
be
levels.
hard in this league, but yeah,
I agree. You know what I mean?
And they're
But-
taking a runner on guys like, well, we can get him in our system, and then he'll be a good boy.
Possibly.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't.
But so what happened with Jalen Carter and what they think about Jalen Carter is going to 100% dictate what they're going to do in this draft. Move up, move
Didn't
down.
the Lions say something like at the owners' meetings this last few weeks ago? I thought they said something like they've identified 4 guys in this 1st round or whatever that fit the type of player they're looking for.
Yep.
So think about how many guys there are.
Exactly.
There's 32 of them going in that 1st round. 4 that they've gone, that's
our guy.
is the attitude
That's
we're
what
looking
we
for.
need. Exactly.
That's the motor we're looking for.
And that's where that can be the difference.
Yeah.
Of not only just getting talent, of getting the right talent in the right place at the right time makes all the difference in the world.
Sure.
Yeah. To go get the greatest receiver you can get, if you don't have a quarterback to throw to him, is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just
The
doesn't.
Lions have done that in the past.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
So
no, but doing brilliant things like we know we're not going to the Super Bowl last year. We're going to take that number 1 receiver who's dinged up right now, and he's going to be dinged up for a little while. We're going to take that consensus number 1 wideout and pluck him at 12 or whatever.
Exactly. And he was what, the 4th receiver taken last year? Something like that?
But
Somewhere
he
there?
was coming off a
That's
fucked
fine.
up ACL.
And I
or
loved
whatever.
it because you didn't need him last year.
Right.
I didn't even want him. I mean, I'm glad they sprinkled him in at the end.
Yeah.
Get some reps. Don't risk injury.
Yeah.
But and everything I've heard about him is he's fucking dropping jaws.
Yeah.
Of
course he is.
The people just like,
Burner.
dude, this guy is
Legit 1. He's
Yes.
a legit number 1.
Right.
It's going to be a fun year, T.
I agree
It's gonna be a
wholeheartedly.
fun year. This Louisville bank shooter story.
Yeah. Louisville.
It is really disturbing, man. Like there's usually something with these school shooters or mass shooters where you go, everybody points out like,
dude was always
coulda
a little
seen this-
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was bullied a lot, and His fucking parents were pieces of shit. And, like this kid, you look at this kid, you look at his family, you look at his scholastic stuff, you look at his athletic prowess. It just doesn't make sense at all.
Time to look at his meds.
Yeah, or something. I mean,
let's
these
be real about it.
concussions, though.
That sure, so,
Dude, do you know he was wearing a helmet to play basketball?
Really?
He had so many concussions. Yeah, the photos that are out today have him wearing a padded helmet like a fucking short bus taker.
Yeah.
So the amount of concussions he
shoot up
had.
a bank too. If I had to wear around a little fucking tart helmet.
Yeah.
I'd fucking shoot up a bank too.
But he's with his parents. His brother's a model. Who cares? I don't know why they needed to tell us that. But it's like, here's this well-to-do family, like dressed to the nines, and he's doing work with the bank, like they're building homes for Habitat for Homes or whatever. He's like doing that shit. He's got a big smile on his face, arm in arm with his coworkers, 6'4", triple athlete in high school, like a known star.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't the profile
Right.
you usually see. Like, that doesn't mean that guy can't mentally be going somewhere dark and off himself.
Oh yeah.
That happens. But when you look at everything that I've seen about this kid, you go,
Doesn't seem to add up.
this doesn't add up.
Maybe
This
it
is not the
that
family you
concussion
see.
thing, for sure. Are they willing to donate his brain to
I don't know.
science?
I don't know where the cops shot him either.
Yeah, right. Take one between the eyes, fuck that whole thing up.
Yeah, you can. But,
Right?
you know,
Isn't
when
that,
you...
who was it? Seau? Shot himself in
Seau,
the chest?
the chest, yeah.
So that they could fucking examine his brain?
Yep. And they said, was it Hernandez, the tight end from the Patriots that murdered a bunch of people? When they looked at his brain as a 25-year-old, they were like, this is the worst CTE we've ever seen. And all the CTE stuff, here's a guy who's young and his brain is fucked. And, you know, whether that, you know, means that you're going to have really reckless behavior, you know, with hookers and drugs, or if you're going to be, you know, like someone spills a drink on your fucking shoe and you go off the deep end and have to murder them for it.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? But I think we're in the infancy stages of these brain injuries. And if this kid's wearing a fucking helmet to play basketball in high school.
The reality, though, is, you know, while we know so much more about it these days.
Do we, though?
Well, I mean,
because
a lot
they've
more,
tried to cover up
I understand,
a ton
but a
of
lot
it.
more than ever before.
Oh,
We
yeah,
never even heard
for
about any
sure.
long-term concussion issues.
For sure.
It was fucking, you know, smelling salts and get back in there.
Sure.
Didn't matter. You never even counted them.
Yeah.
So, and historically, and I mean, you talk about the progression of protection, how much better pads, helmets, rules all have gotten over the last 10, 20 years.
Right.
You know, to protect these, to make this less. It just doesn't equate to the problem getting worse. The problem should be getting better.
Right.
This should have been worse historically and getting better now. As technology is coming up with better helmets, better padding, rules are changing to help these players.
Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't seem to be that
But
way.
if the reports are true about Connor Sturgeon, you're talking about multiple concussions in middle school.
Yeah, I
You know what I mean?
don't
Like
dispute that at
the
all.
brain. No.
Yeah.
My point being, the brain isn't fully developed till you're like 25.
Right.
So you can imagine a middle school kid's brain development.
Yeah.
And then you throw not one but multiple concussions on top of that.
Yeah, but I mean, historically, I mean, how many kids have played football?
Yeah, forever.
and forever, and wrestled and soccer and everything else. But
Maybe it's a ticking time bomb. Why did Aaron Hernandez be like that?
I don't know.
Why did
That's my
Connor-
question. Is that it's, you know, to just say that it's getting worse now. It just, the data doesn't show why it would be getting worse now.
Right.
That's the only thing that
Well-
doesn't equate to me. I understand the correlation between it, but the reality is that it should be getting better, not worse.
Well, Sturgeon was popular and high-flying. He was nicknamed Mr. Floyd Central. That was the name of the high school.
Floyd's knob.
Floyd's knob, exactly. His father, Todd, was Floyd Central's head basketball coach until last year. He previously coached the University of Indianapolis men's basketball team for 10 seasons.
Oh, okay.
He left in 2007 after watching his son at a basketball camp and realized, I think I'd rather spend more time with my son than other people's sons.
Attaboy.
And so went and coached his. I know everybody always says this about shooters, but I truly would have never expected it to be him. He went on to the University of Alabama, graduated in 2020. In a 2018 essay for the university, he wrote about his quest to improve his discipline, responsibility, self-esteem. He had struggled to make friends, despite his friends seeing him as popular and a star athlete. My self-esteem has long been a problem for me. As a late bloomer in middle and high school, I struggled to a certain extent to fit in, and this has given me somewhat negative self-image that persists today. Isn't that everybody on some level?
Yeah, absolutely.
For the most part,
Yeah.
Who's really comfortable in their own skin as in middle school or high school?
Especially being a stud, athlete. And
6'4".
Having to wear the fucking dum-dum helmet when you play basketball.
Yeah, and having no problem with that.
Maybe.
It does look weird. He's up for a fucking jumper, mid-range jumper, wearing a helmet. You're like
he's coming out of the water playing water polo.
Exactly. Making friends has never been especially easy, so I have more experience than most in operating alone. Again, lots of people. I hate to look at something like that and be like, well, what did we expect?
Yep.
Like, no, everyone struggles to fit in, make friends at that age.
Sure.
And what do we all do once we get out of high school and you realize, oh, shit, I won't ever see 95% of those people again in my life.
Yep.
They didn't matter.
They did not.
Trying to get that through to your daughters, or, it'll be part of my goal with niece and nephews, like explaining to them, I understand this feels like everything right now. It's not.
It's not.
It's so not. And those kids you think are the coolest of all time.
Yep. They are not.
They are not.
Right.
And they can easily go off the deep end into Loserville.
Yeah. They can go shoot up a bank and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know, but this one of all those, like, I don't fit in, and I'm trans, and my family won't accept me, and my church won't accept me. I'm going to take it out on the fucking Presbyterian school I went to. Like, you go, okay, this is someone with mental issues, clearly, and doing that. But the photos of this looks like your all-American family with good parents and strong upbringing. And,
well, it makes it that much harder to pinpoint or predict. If there's a pattern, it makes things easier to sort of focus in on. But when it just keeps coming out of left field like these,
it's just crazy though that so many of these people, it seems like, is the idea of taking yourself out off the table. We all have to make a statement. We have to make some statement. He left his parents a suicide note, told a friend he was going to shoot up the bank. Like, oh, okay. And he was fired from the bank. I don't know what for. It hasn't come out. The motive hasn't come out, but like, you just walk into a fucking board meeting before the bank opens and just open up on people all sitting around a big conference table. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not make sense. I mean, I'll never understand, aside from pure vengeance of being done dirty, when you want to go back in and go eye for an eye on something.
Well, we saw this with the male community.
Yeah.
I mean, the postal, going postal is a thing for young people listening. It hasn't happened in a long time.
Not really.
But going postal was legit. I don't know what the fuck they were doing at the post office to these employees, but it was common.
They had a thing for a minute, and whatever
it was a verb.
They reeled it in.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like going postal was like a legit thing.
Yeah.
They did reel it in. Congrats to them, by the way.
Smart, yeah.
And it was really the postal service. It wasn't FedEx.
No, it's just
you know what I mean? It wasn't UPS. It was the postal system.
Right. Can you imagine their fucking marketing department? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
How the fuck do we get out of this, man? Another? What the fuck are you doing?
They literally get 2 days off a week for every fucking perceived holiday. Like, they're part of the government. What are they pissy about?
Well, there's
crazy.
that.
Any interest in the new Mario Brothers movie?
Me personally, no. But
Yeah.
Skylar just saw it, and she said that she really enjoyed it.
Really?
Yes.
Now, she's Mario's big with her.
Yep.
She likes the
Mario
the Switch.
Party, yep, and Mario Kart.
Yeah. Marsh loves it too. Obviously, we were around for the original Mario, and they're talking about nostalgia purposes. Like, and I'm assuming this is a big movie. John Leguizamo has a problem with it.
Oh, because Pratt's doing the Mario?
Yeah.
Is that still Leguizamo's pitch?
Yeah. Leguizamo played Luigi in the 93 Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that as a movie in 93.
You won't remember this one.
No, true. He's boycotting the new animated. Look, John Leguizamo, you had an amazing career as a stand-up, as a movie star. He pops up in the most random shit. I thought he was fucking great in, oh, damn it, Bloodline.
Yeah.
With, I thought that show was fantastic. You can watch it on Netflix if you want. I think it was 3 seasons.
No, but you can't have a fucking American, and right. Luigi, hey, John, they're fucking Italian.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah. What is Leguizamo? He's Colombian.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's Latinx.
Yeah.
Is what he is.
And he's bitching. Mm-hmm. He suggested the new movie should have a Latino actor to play at least one of the brothers.
Why? They're Italian.
Yeah.
You fucking moron.
No, I will not be watching Super Mario Brothers. They could have included a Latin character like I was groundbreaking, and they stopped the groundbreaking. They messed up. They messed up the inclusion. They disincluded.
John, shut up.
Fuck up.
Shut up.
These people.
They miscast you, asshole. They want to do it again.
Yeah. And this idea.
We should boycott the 93 version because they put a fucking Latino in as a fucking Italian.
Yeah. This idea, too, that actors need to be the thing. Like, you're acting.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Like, okay, every time we do a fucking murder movie, do we have to get an actual murderer to play the lead? Like, what are you talking about? All these people, like, and the trans community has absolutely butt-fucked themselves with this. There were 2 major motion pictures that were getting A-list support. Absolutely. And it was like, why don't you have this nobody no one's ever heard of play the lead? Why would you want Scarlett Johansson? It's like...
Yeah, right. Well, ScarJo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
And ScarJo was like, fuck it. I'm out. Yeah. Whatever.
I don't want to deal with
this. I don't
shit.
need this shit. I was going to... You potentially took 2... I want to say Jennifer... Lawrence was another one that was like, all right, fuck this. I don't need this stuff.
Yeah.
And do you really think Hollywood is going to invest $50 million into a project with just a lady who's an actual just a lady that no one's ever heard of? God knows if they can act. When they could get Scarlett Johansson to play that role, like,
because that's all that matters.
You're out of your mind. Yeah. I understand you want to be woke, and Hollywood wants to pretend to be woke. This is a money-making venture.
Period.
And that could have opened up so many eyeballs in the mainstream to a life that most people wouldn't know anything about.
Yep.
Unless you're in New York City and constantly seeing fucking drag queens or trans people walking around, it's common. See it in Hollywood. Walking on the street, gay guys, gay couples, trans people. You don't see that in the Midwest all over.
No.
Just don't. So this could have been a great opportunity to showcase to, if you'd made a good movie, to showcase to a lot of people who would have had preconceived notions about these people as just batshit crazy. You had that opportunity to lay this out, and you just went, no, you blew it all up.
I mean, still think what's
crazy.
The blowback, no pun intended, of like Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's still just the stigma.
Again, I still haven't seen it.
I haven't either. But you know what I mean? Like, I
couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
It's still, like a meme, basically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's so.
Yeah, all those Bud Light fratty guys are making memes.
No, it's just another example of them not, just staying the course, playing the game, waiting it out, trusting the evolution of it.
Yeah.
They need it all now instead of letting it fucking take its natural course of progression.
Yeah.
Everything has to be fucking all now. And that's where they're fucking it up.
Yeah.
That's where they're shoving it down your throat, and that's where they're getting the blowback. They're getting the pushback from it.
Chris Pratt and Charlie Day.
Oh, love me some Charlie Day.
Yeah, who doesn't love Charlie? Charlie Day's fucking amazing.
Yep.
Of course, Charlie Day famous for Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Or Horrible Bosses.
What's that? Or Horrible Bosses. Awesome. So those 2 are voicing Mario and Luigi. Charlie Day is playing Luigi. Cast some Latin folk. Just cast some Latin folk. We're 20% of the population, the largest people of color group. Ugh.
Stop it.
And we're
John.
underrepresented. Overrepresented is the worst kind of jobs, though. Pratt is not Italian. Charlie Day is part Italian. He's at least more qualified than fucking
Leguizamo. Why do you keep saying Latin? Fucking, what are you, stupid?
Yeah.
It's not.
They're Italian.
Right. Did you forget what these people are? Just because you played it in 93? Did you do it with a fucking Latin, with a Spanish accent? Or did you pretend to be Italian?
Yeah.
John? I'll have to look that up and see how he fucking portrayed
See if you can
that.
find Leguizamo 93, just a clip.
Yeah.
Pratt is not using a thick Italian actor fans are used to, instead sounding more like an Italian-American living in New York City.
Hey, just out of curiosity, Leguizamo?
Yeah, Leguizamo.
Fuck yeah. Look at
Nice.
me. Look at me.
Leguizamo.
Yep. I fucking nailed that shit.
Pratt recently said in response to the criticism, go watch the movie and then we can talk. I really think once you see the movie, and you know what, in all honesty, I think you probably need to watch it twice. That's good marketing. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get it the first time. You need to watch it twice.
Right.
Yeah, if you see anything, they'll probably boot us for that. But
let's see. Well, we can do the trailer. Should I put it up there?
yeah, if we could just hear his voice.
Yeah, that's all. We'll just hear his voice. Oh, fuck yeah. CNC Music Factory.
Where is it?
Oh, it's not up there. I didn't put it up there.
Where are we? I got a feeling we're not in Brooklyn no more.
They're brothers. They're plumbers. They're on the trail of a kidnapped princess and a mystical meteorite. It's incredible! That gives anyone who possesses it the power to rule the universe.
God, this looks stupid.
So bad. Ooh, Dennis Hopper.
Now, they must rescue the princess.
Alien species escaping.
And make it safely back.
Oh my God, that looks so stupid.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But he didn't sound very Latin
Yeah.
in that. I don't think he was accentuating his.
Yeah, why is
Latin
he
heritage.
pushed? Does he think Latin and Italian are the same thing?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
that's
honestly, it sounds like he must.
fucking stupid. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. I mean, why would you be demanding that they cast a Latino actor for a fucking Italian role? Because
Do
you did
you
it in
think-
93, so you set the standard? Fuck off.
By the way, John Leguizamo has been in a lot of things, a lot of variety. He's done comedy, he's done drama. He's a good fucking actor.
Yeah.
How would you like it, John, if we just typecast you and you only get to play the stereotypical Latino? How about that? You always have to wear the fucking backwards bandana on your head. You only get to have one button at the top of your button-up shirt done, and you're just a gang member in everything you're in.
That's it.
How about that?
all
You
you're capable
just
of.
play that. You know, you're always a cartel member. How would that be if we're just doing this? If we're just going to go down this road, like how about John? If you're good for a role, his Latinx fucking background didn't come in at all in Bloodline.
No, it shouldn't.
He just played. He played a great fucking bad guy in this. It was awesome.
That's the problem. I mean, that just.
And it's all about like, do you not understand the negative there where you're trying to push like only brown and black people should be up for any role now going forward? Like you're pushing that. You made it. You made it when it was harder for most Latino and fucking people of color to make it in Hollywood.
Yep.
But you don't want to go back to the days where every Asian guy has to, oh yes, very good, play that role.
He was
You
in
know?
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It was Gore Koresh
Okay.
in one episode. I didn't know they had spics in space. Essay!
It's just, yeah. How would you like that, John, if every role had you going, hey, essay, what up, Holmes? Like, no. Like, think about what you're saying. Were you honestly disappointed you didn't get this specific role?
No, ding, 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 ding.
And
That's
and
what
by
he's
the
just
way,
mad that there's a remake and he didn't get to do it.
okay,
And they gave
well,
it-
how often does Superman from the original come back 20 years later and play and reprise his role?
Mm-hmm.
Never. How many different Spider-Mans? Every time they come out with a new Batman, Spider-Man, they always revamp the cast. That's
I
part
gotta
of it.
tell you.
Andrew Garfield wasn't the original Spider-Man.
He has not done much lately.
No, is Bloodline in there?
Bloodline's in there.
Yeah.
There's Ozzy Del Vecchio.
Yep.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's been working.
Sure.
There's a lot of things in here, but nothing that
He's very talented.
he is.
I'm not going to
taking
say
anything
he's
away from
not.
him.
He's
can
very
just say,
talented.
But, since, mid 2000 teens, he hasn't done a whole lot, so I can see him getting a little pissy.
Yeah, but it just seems like if he was like fucking straight out of Italy,
Yeah.
I mean, at least I'd listen to, like, he'd have a point, like,
This guy was
Mario
he was
and
the
Luigi.
voice of Chips in the Fish and Chips movie.
Okay.
Hey, you got to pay the bills, I guess.
Yeah, hell yeah. Moving on to other things, Riley Gaines. I'm really starting to like Riley Gaines.
I don't know too much about her.
She's taken a lot of shit.
Yeah, well, I
lot
know
of
she was
shit.
a swimmer, was she?
Yeah,
Ex-swimmer.
Kentucky, University of Kentucky.
Good looking, and then came out came out against the trans and sports. Right.
Started with Leah
That's
Thomas.
what she's been.
Again, another one of these where a woman is trying to stand up for women's spaces and
right.
women.
You'd think they'd get a little more credit.
Yeah.
For being an actual woman in an actual woman's space.
Yeah, like a woman's locker room. She talks about Leah Thomas coming in, being this egomaniac with his dick balls flopping around in the locker room. Like, doesn't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah.
That's what Leah Thomas was. We've read other articles where it sounds like Leah Thomas is a real fucking dick.
Yeah.
No
pun intended.
Yeah. Riley Gaines, former University of Kentucky 12-time All-American swimmer, has consistently challenged the idea that men should compete in women's sports. She laid into Megan Rapinoe.
Oh, fuck that twat.
I know, right? Honestly, for slamming HR 734, the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act.
Did Sue jump on board too? Did they tag team it?
Sue,
Her fucking bitch, Sue Bird.
Sue Bird. I almost said Sue Bird. Damn it.
Aren't they? They're a thing.
Are they?
Ravenho and Sue Bird.
Sure. Who knows?
They were a couple.
By
I don't
the
know if
way,
they still are or not.
Rapinoe exhausted her career, having to deal with none of this. By the way, Rapinoe, you're
saying
fucking
it wrong.
Rapinoe.
Yeah.
Rapinoe's entire career was untouched by any of this nonsense.
No, but she got
And-
to bitch about not making as much money as the men.
Right. They don't generate as much money. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's
Revenue
the way that
split.
goes.
Let's look into it.
Yeah. And Rapinoe also, if you look at it, there's no men's championship caliber team or shitty professional team that is taking on a high school squad. That's what the women's national squad was doing for practice. Taking
Caliber.
on
It's the same. It's
like high school boys. So if there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of current high school boys that could throw on a wig and some lipstick and dominate the women's national team.
Yeah.
How would Rapinoe like that if all of a sudden her spot on the national team was taken from her because some lady wanted to come in knowing absolutely full well that this decent high school men's player will never go any further. Never get a double mint commercial, never get a fucking sponsorship deal from Gatorade.
Yep.
But maybe as a glass ceiling breaker, as a trans community.
Yeah, you'll get your face on Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly. Rapinoe tweeted, today politicians in D.C. are claiming to protect women's sports by pushing a trans and intersex sports ban. Call your congressional rep today to say women's sports needs protection from unequal pay, sex abuse, and lack of resources, not from trans kids. She followed by signing a letter published Monday that condemns the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act. Gaines accused Rapinoe of virtue signaling. I can respect opinions that differ from my own. Everyone's entitled to speak independently, but I can't help but think that Megan Rapinoe would genuinely shiv any male who tried to take her spot on the women's national team.
That's a great line.
Yeah. 40 athletes, including Rapinoe, wrote, our deepest hope is that trans and intersex kids will never have to feel the isolation, exclusion, and othering that H.R. 734 is seeking to enshrine into law. The SUP administration is seeking to strike down bans on trans-identifying athletes, claiming that would violate Title IX. And last week, by the way...
I would love to know what she says in a vacuum, okay? She has to
Rapinoe?
say this. Rapinoe. And any of these fucking twats. Whatever.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. You hope that no trans, person has to be left out or feel alienated. Okay, sure. Well, we all feel that on some level.
Yeah.
We all agree with that. Okay. I don't want you to be
Yeah.
ostracized. I don't want you to be fucking, not be able to do things that you want to do.
Sure.
Now, raping hoe. As a woman who fought your way up with women for your, do you not have any respect for what about the woman that worked her tits off to try and qualify for the women's Olympic team and just gets edged out by a chick with a dick?
Yeah.
Right? Now, do you not feel bad for that girl? Do you feel better because the trans athlete?
No, it's all about virtue signaling and
I know.
elevating this thing.
I'd love for you to now address that side of it.
Yeah, no, they ignore that side. Like, that's not a real side. It's like, how many times do we have to watch the Massachusetts women's track final and two dudes are competing for it? And the girls come in, third and last all the way. And then you've got two fucking males who dominate everything. They're just a lady.
Of course.
They dominate all those fields. And these girls are getting left out of scholarships.
Right.
Why are you and I the ones standing up going, does this seem a little unbalanced, a little unfair for ladies out there?
If there wasn't
girl
a
spaces,
difference, there wouldn't be a separation. Men and women would be competing together across the board, all the way along, if there was no difference. If men weren't better, and the problem is look at every single fucking category, every record, everything.
Yeah.
Apples to apples, men dominate.
Yeah.
Dominate. Times, speeds, weights, whatever. It doesn't matter. Dominate.
Title IX made a lot of sense. If you're looking at that's the one for schools, right? Where you have to, yeah. So the way Title IX came to be was, well, the men's baseball team generates a lot of money, but the girls' fucking softball team doesn't. So we're not going to have a girls' team. Hey, the men's football team makes all the money. And it's like, no, you are going to spread that money equally so that women can have a crew squad. Women can have a softball team.
Yep.
Women can have a field hockey squad. You do not just get to write women off. You as a university are absolutely going to offer the same opportunities for women as you are for men, right? These men-dominated spaces, we are going to make sure federally that by law, these women are given these opportunities as well. Worked for a long time to get to a place like that, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a daughter that's really good at something and wants to go to school and they don't offer anything for her because it doesn't generate money. That's not what it's all about.
Shouldn't be.
And so it's like, yeah, I want my sister. My sister played college soccer. I want your daughters, if they want opportunities, they want to be on the crew team at some college. Absolutely.
Yep.
And it seems like these women who have made it to the top, okay, she's gay, so I don't know if she identifies much as a woman to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, she goes out of her way to look as butchy as possible, Megan Rapinoe. So maybe, but God, I feel Riley Gaines is absolutely trashed. She's J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
And the amount of balls, no pun intended, it takes to stand up in the face of that and go, no.
Yep.
No, it is not the same having Leah Thomas compete with us with his dick and balls hanging out. And she even said in there, someone said, Gaines ripped ESPN for celebrating Women's History Month in a segment in which they lauded Leah Thomas for becoming the first trans athlete to win an NCAA Division I championship by winning the 500 freestyle. Gaines tweeted, Leah Thomas is not a brave, courageous woman who earned a national title. He's an arrogant cheat who stole a national title from a hardworking, deserving woman. The NCAA is responsible. If I was a woman working at ESPN, I would walk out. You're spineless.
Yeah, I had a girl.
Right there with you. Yeah. And whatever we can do to encourage that, I never thought I'd be the champion for women's spaces.
No, I mean, it's ironic, but here we are.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. It's a fine line, and it's a difficult conversation to have. But the proper conversations are not being had right now.
Yeah.
They're not. It's just being shoved down your throat, and any opposition whatsoever is just, death by firing squad.
Yeah.
That's it. And there's no in between.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where I was talking about not accepting the natural evolution of things and the timing of things, like letting it just happen organically on its own in its own time. No, you just want to fucking shove it down everybody's throat and expect like it's just going to be okay. Well, that's not going to work. I'm sorry. You're going to get more pushback that way.
I love the story, and it should be a cautionary tale for a lot of people out there. Remember the story we did probably a few months ago, T, about the girl who was doing a hit piece on J.K. Rowling.
Oh, and ended up loving her.
And went through all of her books, all of her articles, all of her statements, all of her tweets over like a 2-year span. Went through everything this woman, J.K. Rowling, has ever said on this subject. And came away and went, the narrative that's being fed to me is bullshit. I bought it hook, line, and sinker, and holy fuck, there is literally nothing in her collection of writings that crossed the line ever. She's purely standing up for women, as she's done her whole fucking life.
And the sad part is that got zero traction whatsoever.
Yeah, got traction here.
Yeah, well, exactly, but that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, in the global aspect, I mean,
yeah,
that should have been enough for some people, and maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but I'm betting not.
Yeah.
Because people are too just deeply embedded
Yeah.
in their own belief, their own side, and that it didn't matter, that somebody could have come through this and said, okay, listen, I thought like you, I was told like you, right? I believed like you.
Yeah.
I went to do what you would like to do, what you wanted me to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what
And they
should
hated
matter.
her for that.
And that's what should matter. And instead of listening to the truth, they just
from a
killed
journalist.
her. Right, they just killed her.
From a super woke journalist, by the way, who went in with every intention of doing a hit piece. And then it's just like, oh, discard her. She's been red pilled. She's on the wrong team. You're like,
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Smear.
When does this reach a boiling point or come to a head? Because a lot of times I've said, ladies, you're going to have to keep taking it on the tits for a little while longer here.
Still are.
Does it? Because what we've seen are individual instances of this, where this school has a women's soccer team and there happens to be a trans, just a lady who wants to play on a team, and you get that, and then there's always stories like, yeah, these schools don't want to play this high school with a guy on the women's team. It turns into a big dust up. Does it take?
Because not only is it taking somebody away from that team, I mean, you know what I mean, a spot of a biological woman on that roster, on that squad. Think about the unfair advantage going against every team that they play.
Right.
Too. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Does it take a point of getting to such ridiculous levels where there's multiple high school women's field hockey teams or swim teams or soccer teams that have 4 or 5 men on them that are just going, I mean, is that the point? Because if you get to that point and you think that you're not going to severely injure a woman, guys kick a soccer ball a fuck tote a lot harder than women. I remember when Lebo, a goalie, came out and Merck was lightning fast. He was our center forward, and he's running up, and the goalie gets there
he was our fucking
kicker on the
football kicker too. I mean, it's just a fucking leg.
But this guy, and it was a high school that we had a game that day in the afternoon at home, and then later that afternoon was the boys football team in like a playoff, right? And so Mark was going to like literally play the soccer game and then drive to wherever the high school, division round championship, whatever it was. And this goalie came out, full fucking man boot, and blasted. And Mark was running full speed about 10 yards away. And this dude fucking laid into this ball and smashed Mark straight in the face. Out cold, never seen a fucking body. Boom. This happened to Jay, too. Took one of those, a header from a guy, broke his nose. His nose was on the side of his face. These were full-grown boys going full clip. Had that ball hit a girl like that, I don't know that she fucking wakes up from it.
Right.
Like, Mark was out. Jay was out. They had brought an ambulance onto the fucking field to take Jay to the hospital and rearrange his face. So it's like, it's cute, like, oh, we can't compete with these guys.
Inclusivity, stop it.
Stop it.
It's so much more than that.
It is so much more than that. And I don't mean to be like, oh, yeah.
No, it's not.
Women can't take it, but dude.
No, that's the reality. Look at the UFC. I mean,
Joe Rogan, what he flipped out about, took a lot of shit
There
for
was
that.
another one that just happened. I mean, another one where there was a fucking dude against a chick, but trans, so it's okay. Cracked her skull. Cracked her skull. Like,
duh. Duh.
Well, didn't see that coming.
I mean, Troy, think about.
And then you should hear the post-fight interview.
Yeah.
You want to talk about just a lady giving her fucking press conference after
Heather?
the thing? Yeah.
Heather?
It was basically Heather Swanson. It was fucking unbelievable. You're like, I mean, close your eyes. You look at, you're picturing Macho Man Randy Savage, and you're fucking,
You're not far off.
I know. And it's like, okay,
Well,
what
you
are we
think about it,
doing
T.
here?
Think about my sister, who's good at soccer. She's good. She threw a football better than most guys I know because she played with me and G when we were younger. So Kristen's always been athletic. She played on Oakland's soccer team in college for a couple of years before she left. Yeah. Now, she's a good little athlete. She still is. We were on the beach in California kicking the soccer ball around, throwing the football. It was great. There's no fucking way I would want her going man up against you.
She would get murdered.
She'd get murdered. She's a great little girl athlete.
Yep.
And you look at that and go, okay, at 6'3", 250, whatever the fuck you are, you're a full grown ass man on a basketball court, a football field, a baseball diamond. It is what it is.
And you got to keep, what people seem to forget a lot of times is the apples to apples aspect of this. Like, okay, like me going against WNBA players right now. It's probably fairly fair.
Yeah,
they're big, they're strong, they're
sure.
I mean, they dominate me. I shouldn't even say fair. But you know what I mean?
In your prime, though, no, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
No, but that's a layperson against a professional athlete.
Yeah,
you can't. So now you have to correlate that to professional women's basketball player to professional men's basketball player.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Dude, every time basketball is brought up, I think back to the Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla, and they took on 2 starters on the women's UCLA basketball team and beat them in 2-on-2. And it was like, here's a fat guy and a drunk, playing 1-on-1, 2-on-2 against these like college athletes in their prime. And when push comes to shove and you're talking about boxing someone out or, going up strong on a layup, there was nothing these girls could do.
No,
nothing. It's the way it is.
It is. Well, hey, when you support our sponsors, you support TDC, and we appreciate that more than you know. So if you're in the market for something new or pre-loved, or if you just want to sell your car, then please give our friends at Zott a shot. They've been with us since the very beginning, and they love taking care of you. Get out there today and lease a new 22 Bronco Sport Big Bend all-wheel drive as low as $298 a month, or buy the damn thing for 1.9% financing. Or you can stop at Zott and lease a 22 Explorer XLT as low as $282 a month, or buy this cheeky bastard for 1.9% financing for 72 months. Finally, you can lease a 22 F-150 Super Crew XLT for $244 a month or lower. Yes, you could actually save another $20 to $50 a month if you qualify for a Ford private offer. Give Anthony or Gabara a call today and see if you are eligible. Plus, you can buy this 2.9% financing for 72 months as well. You can get details and search Zott Ford's banging inventory at dealsnthedee.com.
All right, let's do some emails. We'll call it a day. I'm
Okay.
going to be excited to get this guy off my email list for this topic.
Yeah, I'm so excited you guys don't even know.
Fucking
Steve, my dude.
Lobsters. The lobsters have been delivered. I know you don't like them, but I included some pickles and the aforementioned hot pickle eggs in the hope you might like one of either. No.
All right, well, I'll fucking eat them all.
Yeah, enjoy. I literally want to leave the house now before this gets started.
Bye.
I was limited to what the seafood market had, and I didn't want to leave you out, but my options were limited. If there's a next time, I'll do better. I got a pick of the box on the doorstep. Did you get them? Yes. Steve, yes. You saw a picture on the doorstep. I brought the fucking disgusting box inside. There's apparently live lobsters in the goddamn kitchen
my man,
right now.
I appreciate you more than you know.
Disgusting.
Early fucking birthday present from me.
Ugh.
I apparently have 3 live lobsters upstairs that I'm about to go make scream like little bitches.
Ugh. I was literally like, I need to do the show and get the fuck out of here before he even opens that box. So gross. So T's got it. Relax. He's going to enjoy it.
Thank you,
If you
my
want
man.
you want to hook up me, you go chicken, you go steak, you go potatoes, all that shit. But
This is coming from Maine, dude. This is what they
you don't
do.
like Maine lobsters? Well, how about cod? No, none of it. Anything that swims, I want nothing to do with food-wise.
I'm so excited. You don't even know.
I know you are. Connor writes, "Hey boys, been enjoying the shows lately, minus one part.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
Womp,
I get
womp.
it. He's going to be here tomorrow, that one part, and then he's gone.
He's gone.
He gone.
He's up in TC.
I am far from a beer snob. Bud Light is shit beer. That said, Labatt is also shit beer.
I'll fight you to the fucking death.
Yeah. All the domestic beers are shit beers. To call Bud Light trash and claim you drink Labatt is akin to eating Taco Bell and calling McDonald's trash. With love.
Listen, Connor, we can settle this anytime you like, sir.
Yep. You were wearing your shirt yesterday, too.
I did
Yeah.
for Easter.
Yep. Movies. I was asking people. I didn't get as many emails as I'd liked. Had hoped about what movies are good. I've spent a lot
tips.
of time. Yeah, and I've watched some things. I love Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner, which is a show. I like Your Honor, airing on Showtime. I just watched the rest of season 2. I've been watching that for a couple months. Forgot about it, but that's great with Bryan Cranston.
Oh, yeah.
That's really good. But I found that the movies, Megan and Murder Mystery 2 was They're all just so There's really nothing to them.
Yep.
And so I was asking, are there good movies out there that people have seen? So some people have written, this isn't a movie, but a series on Netflix that my kids and I enjoyed, Alice in Borderland. I don't know what that is. Along the lines of Squid Games. We liked Squid Games.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is another Korea-made one, dystopian parallel universe situation where people need to play a game, survive, and possibly get back to the real world. Okay, John, thank you.
All right. Sounds Squid's gamey, I guess.
Yeah, it's called Alice in Borderland.
All right.
So if anyone else has some suggestions, I'm all ears. Walters at DetroitCast.com. Keep the comments coming. Why don't we wrap it there, T?
Yeah,
and,
I got some lobsters to cook.
Yeah, you do.
Fuck yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow, and Isis will be here tomorrow. So that'll be exciting before he heads up to up north in Mackinac Island for summer jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Cleaning up horse
I said
shit.
Traverse City, meant Mackinac.
Yeah, he's going up to Mackinac. So,
Shoveling the shit.
yeah, absolutely. Perfect job for him. Don't eat it, Isis. All right. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.